Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you follow the NFL, you know that June is usually a slow month. The league's in that quiet phase, with teams wrapping up minicamps, OTAs, and just getting ready for training camp, which feels like it's still a ways off. But even in this lull, there's always something bubbling underneath the surface. Some rumors, some whispers, some strategic maneuvers that could hint at bigger moves down the line. And for Steelers fans, this offseason has been anything but boring. From the signing of Deshaun Elliott to extend the defense to some intriguing trade rumors, there's plenty to talk about. Today, I want to delve into one particular rumor that has NFL insiders buzzing, one that involves the Chicago Bears, their tight end situation, and the Steelers' potential interest. It's a scenario that on paper sounds interesting, but in reality might never come to fruition. Still, it's worth exploring because it speaks volumes about the Steelers' approach to roster building and their ongoing quest to strengthen a core that's already got a lot of promise. So, the rumor was floated by CBS Sports not long ago, suggesting that the Steelers could be interested in trading for Chicago Bears tight end Cole Kmet. Now, at first glance, this makes a lot of sense. Pittsburgh has been looking to reinforce that tight end spot, especially with the injuries and uncertainties they've faced this offseason. Donald Parham Jr., who was a big part of their plans, tore his Achilles, which is a serious injury that sidelines him for most, if not all, of the upcoming season. Add to that J.J. Galbraith, a rookie UDFA who was standing out in training camp but is now also banged up, and suddenly you see that the Steelers' tight end room is a bit thin on reliable, experienced options. They've been exploring different avenues, including potential trades for Kyle Pitts of the Falcons or Jonnu Smith, and it's clear that Pittsburgh's front office is serious about upgrading that position. Now, let's talk about Cole Kmet. He's a player who, when you look at his production over the last few seasons, stands out. Kmet has been pretty consistent, logging at least 50 catches in 3 straight seasons from 2021 through 2023. That kind of production is valuable, especially for a team like the Steelers that values tight ends who can be versatile in both blocking and receiving. Kmet, at 66 and around 260 pounds, is a matchup nightmare when used correctly. And he's still relatively young, just entering his prime, which makes him an intriguing target for teams looking to add a dependable weapon to their offense. But here's where things get tricky. CBS Sports suggested that Pittsburgh might be interested in acquiring Kmet, especially considering the tight end room's current injuries and the potential for improvement. The idea was that a trade could involve a lower draft pick or perhaps some other asset that the Steelers could spare, especially if the Bears were willing to part ways with Kmet, maybe to free up some cap space or to rebuild their own roster. The catch. Well, the Chicago Bears, under new head coach Matt Eberflus and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, are not exactly in a position where they're eager to make drastic moves. They've invested a first-round pick in Colston Loveland this year, signaling that they see him as a future cornerstone at tight end. While Kmet still has the benefit of NFL experience and has been a consistent target, the Bears' new coaching staff appears committed to developing Loveland and possibly leaning on him heavily from the start. Plus, the philosophy of the Bears' coaching staff is to build an offense around their young talent, and they're not in a hurry to trade away a player like Kmet, who has proven he can be a reliable target for quarterback Justin Fields. This isn't a team that's desperate for cap relief or draft picks at the moment. They're in a bit of a rebuilding phase, but they want to do it the right way, with an eye toward developing their core players rather than selling them off for quick fixes. So, while the idea of trading Kmet to Pittsburgh might seem appealing from the Steelers' perspective, the reality is that the Bears are likely to hold on to him, at least until they see how Loveland develops and how their offense shapes up under Johnson's leadership. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Hey, could this change in the future? Could Kmet become available after a season or two if the Bears decide to go a different route? And honestly, that's a real possibility. NFL rosters are always in flux, and if Kmet continues to produce at a high level but the Bears decide they want to pivot to a different tight end or shift their offensive philosophy, then maybe a trade could happen down the line. But as of now, the best information suggests that Kmet is not on the trading block anytime soon. The Bears see him as a key piece in their plans, especially with the draft capital they invested in Loveland, and they're not in a hurry to part ways with him unless an extraordinary offer comes along. Now, looking at the Steelers' side of things, what does this all mean? Well, Pittsburgh has been navigating a bit of a tight spot at tight end. Sure, Pat Freiermuth is their unquestioned number one, a guy who's shown flashes of being a top-tier tight end in this league. He's a reliable target in the passing game and a solid blocker in the run game. But beyond Freiermuth, the Steelers have had some issues: injuries, inconsistency, and a lack of proven depth. Donald Parham Jr., as I mentioned, was supposed to be a key role player, but his Achilles injury throws a wrench in those plans. J.J. Galbraith, a rookie, was turning heads in training camp, but now we see he's also banged up. It's a classic situation where a team with Super Bowl aspirations needs to get creative, especially considering the importance of the tight end position in today's NFL. And let's not forget, the Steelers have been exploring options, including bringing in veteran tight ends like Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith, to add some veteran leadership and explosiveness to that room. Pitts, with his athleticism and potential, could be a game-changer in the right system, but acquiring him would likely come at a significant cost: draft picks, cap space, or both. Jonnu Smith, meanwhile, has been a solid contributor when healthy, but consistency has been an issue. So, a trade for someone like Cole Kmet, who's already proven himself in the league, could be an attractive alternative if the price is right, of course. But here's the catch. Despite all the talk, the Steelers aren't just going to give up draft capital or promising young players for a tight end right now. They're building a balanced roster, and head coach Mike Tomlin is known for his patience and strategic approach. The team's current focus seems to be on developing their existing talent, assessing how the new additions fit into the puzzle, and waiting for the right opportunity to strike in free agency or the trade market. So, while the idea of adding Kmet is appealing on paper, it's more of a hypothetical at this point. What makes the Steelers' situation even more interesting is how they've been addressing their defense lately. Extending Deshaun Elliott was a smart move, adding veteran leadership and versatility to an already stout secondary. Their defense, under coordinator T.J. Watt's leadership, remains one of the most formidable units in the league, and that's a huge advantage. But football is a game of balance, and on offense, they still have some work to do. The tight end position, as we've seen, can be the difference maker in close games, especially when you have a quarterback like Kenny Pickett who's still developing but shows flashes of brilliance. Giving him a reliable target like Freiermuth with some added depth is crucial. And that's where the potential trade rumors come into play. Teams are always looking to improve, and Pittsburgh isn't shy about exploring those options. Now, if we step back and look at the larger picture, the AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in football this year. The Bengals, with Joe Burrow at the helm, are looking to repeat their division-winning ways. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson healthy and a strong defense, are always in the mix. And the Browns, depending on how Deshaun Watson performs after that tumultuous first year, could surprise some people. The Steelers, of course, want to be right there in the thick of it, and they've made some smart moves this offseason. But they also know they need to keep adding talent, especially at key positions like tight end. The division is so tight that even a small upgrade, say, a dependable tight end who can stretch the field or make clutch catches, could make all the difference in their quest for a playoff run or even a deep postseason push. And speaking of the Steelers' recent history, it's worth remembering that this franchise has a long-standing tradition of building through the draft, developing players, and making smart moves. They've always been cautious about giving up too much in trades, preferring to develop their own talent and find value in the later rounds. But when the opportunity arises to add a proven player like Kmet, with manageable cost, the front office is always tempted. It's a delicate balancing act, trying to stay competitive now while also planning for the future. They're in that window right now, trying to maximize the talent they have, but also being ready to pounce if a bargain trade makes sense. As we look ahead to training camp and the season, it's clear that the Steelers' roster is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent years. The defense remains a strength, with T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and a solid secondary leading the charge. The offensive line has been reshaped to provide better protection for Kenny Pickett, who showed flashes of brilliance last season and is eager to take the next step. The running game, with Najee Harris healthy again, is poised to be a force, and the wide receiver core is deep enough to keep defenses honest. But the tight end position, as we've discussed, is still a bit of a question mark. That's why these rumors about Kmet and other potential upgrades are so fascinating. They highlight just how much the Steelers are willing to do to push over the top. In the end, it's all about depth, versatility, and strategic moves. Pittsburgh has shown in the past that they're not afraid to make bold decisions if it means improving their chances of contending. Whether or not a Kmet trade materializes remains to be seen, but the fact that the conversation is even happening shows how serious the Steelers are about bolstering that part of their offense. It's also a reflection of the broader NFL landscape, teams constantly trying to outsmart each other, making moves that could define the season. And for us Steelers fans, that's what makes this offseason so exciting. Because at the end of the day, we all want to see our team hoist the Lombardi Trophy once again, and every move, every rumor, and every game is a step closer or further away from that goal. So, as we continue to follow the offseason developments, keep an eye on those roster moves, trades, and coaching philosophies. The AFC North is going to be a battlefield, and the Steelers are determined to be right in the middle of it, fighting for every inch, every yard, and every victory. And who knows? Maybe by the time the season kicks off, we'll see some surprises that nobody predicted. That's the beauty of football, anything can happen, and that's why we love this game so much. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, keep supporting your Pittsburgh Steelers. Because when it comes to the NFL, the story is never truly over. It's always evolving, always exciting, and always worth following. And trust me, this season is going to be one for the books. The Steelers are hungry, the AFC North is fierce, and the road to the Super Bowl is wide open. Let's see how it all unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe the Steelers should pursue a trade for Kmet, or do you think they're better off developing what they already have? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. We love hearing your insights, your predictions, and your passion because that's what makes this community special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, deeper insights, and all the latest news from Steelers country. So stay tuned, stay engaged, and let's keep this conversation going. Because when it comes to Pittsburgh Steelers football, we're all in this together. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Steelers.